Is anyone else just anxiety-ridden of the amount of content that has been released nowadays? I just feel like I can't move for the amount of TV shows being recommended to me. Just wait, every company will have a streaming service. The new show on Pfizer Plus, Contamination. Sir, half the population is gone due to this new virus. Don't worry, we have a solution. The FDA won't let us pass the virus? Well, looks like we're gonna have to pay them off. A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms is HBO's next attempt to make the Game of Thrones franchise a media dynasty and is hot off the heels of the failure that was House of the Dragon Season 2. Showrun by Ira Parker, or Ira Parker, who knows. The show attempts to bring to life the Duncan novellas written by George R.R. Martin and bring some of the confidence back after the disaster that was Season 8 of Game of Thrones and Season 2 of House of the Dragon. Have you got all that? Okay, so just to let you know, I loved Game of Thrones until I didn't, like everyone else. Then I liked Season 1 of House of the Dragon and despised the second season.
Nigga, did I just catch you having fun?
I haven't read the books, so if any lore weebs want to come at me, just to let you know, I don't care.
Ooh, you're odd.
So A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms had some work to do, and to be honest, I was not at all interested in watching this show, because like every other major franchise, companies are just desperate to get as much content as possible for any existing IP. Why leave the Harry Potter movies as they are when we can make an entire show about them? But anyway, I held off the show until I found out one thing. The episodes are half an hour long! I was ecstatic to hear this. The idea of sinking an hour a week into another multi-million-dollar IP just sends my brain into overdrive.
My head will be headache me.
So anyway, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms is awesome, and I'm so glad I took the time to watch it. The key to the show is what worked about Game of Thrones. The characters are likeable. Writers seem to forget about this, and yet Marvel have built an empire simply based on likeable characters. Jon Snow, for example, may act like a block of wood, but in contrast to all these other morally grey characters, he really works, and stands as a moral centre for the audience. And this is what they have done with Ser Duncan the Tall, played brilliantly by Peter Claffey. I assume this is George's work, but the way he is written is incredible. He is kinda dumb, but not to the point of frustration. And like Jon Snow, he is a morally good man. A good man in a world full of incest, rape, and murder, but still, you know, good for this world, which is all you really need.
You're a good woman. I'm good man.
But he acts as our moral centre, as most other characters in this show are awful. And even when characters are nice to Dunk, you can't help but be a little pessimistic. This is how brutal the world is that George has created. The action, the world building, the villains, everything takes a step back to establish this guy as a likeable lead. And by the end, you can't help but root for him. Take episode 4, for example. Most of the episode is dedicated to Dunk finding 6 knights to fight alongside him. This in concept could be incredibly dull, but because in only 3 episodes the show has made you fall in love with our lead, the episode is thrilling and was overall my favourite. Let me tell you, I was losing my mind to some of the scenes in this episode. The way some of the knights come straight to his defense just captivates you because the character is great. You are hanging on every word spoken, just willing someone to help this guy.
I am under the water. Please help me.
It reminds me of the scene in which Oberyn Martell decides to fight for Tyrion in Season 4 of Thrones. On paper, there is not a lot going on, but because you love the character, you can't help but fist pump when Oberyn declares himself as champion.
I will be your champion.
I will say this over and over, but well-written and defined characters, in my mind, will trump everything else, and in this show, they excel at that. And this Targaryen guy, what a fucking legend. He has maybe 20 minutes of screen time, and he is awesome. I love him. Whereas House of the Dragon seemed to accentuate the misery of the world of Westeros, Seven Kingdoms shows the misery, but is all about finding the good in people even under these circumstances, and how it only takes one good man to show people how to be better. There are multiple lines in this show about the core tenets of being a knight, and how that has been lost. The core of it being to defend the innocent, the weak, and the helpless, acting as a protector rather than just a warrior. Most knights help themselves or rulers, but Dunk actually wants to follow those tenets, and he doesn't just talk about it, he acts on it, to the point of potentially getting himself killed. To be honest, though it feels like this show was written for me, because some of my favourite Game of Thrones scenes are the random interactions with guards. You know, the bit where the guy is talking about fingering bums, or those guards that are talking about how gay Renly is.
How good could he be? He's been stabbing Renly Baratheon for years and Renly ain't dead.
These scenes always fleshed out the world, and A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms pushes these type of common folk to the forefront.
Then would you move the fuck out of the way?
A small issue I have is I don't totally buy the Duncan Egg relationship.
How dare you?
They are good together, but I feel like the show is trying to make Egg cute like Grogu or Baby Groot, but it doesn't have that impact. Like I said, them together does work well, but their relationship feels like a bit of an afterthought to Ser Duncan's drama. Luckily, the majority of the show is Dunk trying his best in a disgusting, awful world, which I love.
I fucking love it!
I never really understood why HBO decided to go epic with their follow-up to Game of Thrones. This should have been the show to establish the brand, as we already had the most epic that the world of Westeros will ever see.
Now, this is epic.
You can't really get much bigger than Season 8 conceptually, so House of the Dragon kind of just fell flat. But even if you haven't seen any Game of Thrones related content, this is a must-watch. It's not even really related to Game of Thrones lore, so for newcomers, this is just an easy way to jump in. Overall, I give A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms Season 1 a 9 out of 10. It's fun, funny, intense, and heartwarming, and just overall a great time. Let's just hope they don't shit the bed with Season 2. Thanks for watching. This video is sponsored by Prince Andrew's legal fees.